from Nottingham. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're planting some bulbs. I've got a nice box of bulbs. I've already been planting loads of Narcissus February Gold and Narcissus Paper Whites. Just been doing a little stream down the bank with Paper Whites. But when you're ordering your bulbs and thinking about bulbs, you've got to think about the location, the sort of soil type and things like that. What the surrounding sort of trees are. And in this case, you can see we've got a lovely white stem birch. So against that, some nice blue China doxas will show up really well. I planted a birch. There's a birch on the other side as well, which will complement this one. So we'll plant up some China doxas there and on this one. I've got a load of alliums. You can see your alliums here. They're ideal for a nice sunny terrace. You think of the Mediterranean. And this beautiful Allium afflatuense, we'll plant them over there. So when you look at your bulb, you've got, bulb is made up of three parts. You've got a basal plate, you've got this sort of scaly leaves on the inside, and you've got a tunica on the heart, which is the coat, like a tunic. Around the outside. And what you're feeling for when your bulbs arrive is, are they nice and firm? If they're mushy or you know, then obviously they could have all sorts of things from white rot right the way through to Fusarium, Narcissus fly, and all sorts of different things. So you want to check your bulbs when you've got them. So the alliums are going to be ideal for the sunny terrace all round. So that's going to work well there. Where we've got a dry area on the far side, I've been planting clumps of daffodils. These sort of Narcissus February Gold, because the yellow against the green will look really good when they come up. We're going to plant a few Camasias as well, just on the edge of the lawn. We're going to plant them. So when you've got your bulbs and you've checked them, the next thing to do is to think about how you're going to plant them sort of in a natural way. And what we do with bulbs is we plant them. We can use what's called a scatter planting method. That's a common method, or we can do a spadeful method, or some people actually hire a turf cutter, lift the turf and plant underneath it. There you go. So if I had the scatter method, we'll just have a quick look at that. You basically, as it says, you get a kind of a handful of bulbs, and you kind of roll them across the ground like this, so you have them in your hand and you kind of scatter them like that. And don't worry that you get a pile in the same place, just plant them where they are, it'll look more natural. You do that as opposed to placing them one at a time, because you tend to make it too formal if you do that. So scatter planting, so I can plant them where they have landed. I'm going to do a few against the birch here and a few against the birch on the other side, so the blue and silver will look good, the blue and white will look good. When it comes to planting, what we do is we plant 2 times the depth of the bulb. So whatever the depth of the bulb is, 2 to 3 times the depth of that. Is ideal. Some people do 3, you know, which is great. We'll have a look at different planting methods in a second. You can use obviously a trowel, it's quite good. You can use a bulb planter. We've got a bulb planter. It's a bit of a slow way of doing it, but you can use a bulb planter. Often I'll dig out a spadeful and put the soil to one side, throw my bulbs in and put a spade, because it obviously speed. But if you're using this twice the depth of the bulb, obviously the bulbs here, so I'm going to just pull back the bark a little bit, and I want the bulbs to sort of come fairly near the tree and get established, or what we call naturalised, near the stem to make it look good. So I'll do that. We'll get a handful of bulbs, we'll use the scatter planting method, and we'll just roll them across the ground. And then when it comes to planting, we can then, there's the bottom, make sure the basal plate's at the bottom, and there's the top. So you get this sort of sort of wiry, rooty bit at the bottom, and then you can see it tapers to the top. So we can just put them in. Now here it's rock hard. Now there's a few things you can do. You can use this and lift them up. Oh, that's come out. We'll just lift that one. So that's plenty there. And these actually just lift, pull apart, so you can drop the soil in. So you could do them that way. Okay, just try and keep that together and pull apart. Sometimes it does it automatically. Here I'll do two together. So twice the depth is fine. Pull that one out. 1, 2, and then pull apart. And then we'll just keep going like that. What I have actually brought with me, I have actually got an impact. I'll show you that, an impact drill, which has got it's an SDS drill which has got a hammer action. So if I need to, if it's getting difficult, what I can do is use that. So you can see it's got like a little kind of rounded bit at the end, and if the ground was really hard, I can like that, take it out, drop the bulb at the back, down, and away you go. I knew today the ground was really hard, so I decided to bring this with me. So it's just an STS drill, it's got a hammer action. And that little tube on the end just fetches out enough to get these small bulbs in. So I've just put a few in there. So one of the things with bulbs, of course, is we need to make sure that we've got succession, as well as getting them in the right place for the situation. And this is where little cormlets, if you like, these are Aranthus hyemalis, a winter aconite, and so these are going to give a bit of interest in the winter. And then obviously you could follow that with snowdrops, follow that with early sort of daffodils, or you could have China Dockster, or you could have scillas, just to give a bit of interest. And then after narcissus you could go for tulips, and after tulips you could then go into your alliums, and you can carry on the succession right through the year into the autumn crocuses and things like colchicums in the autumn. So succession is important, so think about that when you're planting. You can plant in layers. You'll probably know that in pots that you can put bulbs in layers, called the lasagna method, where you plant a layer and one layer comes up, they go over, and the next layer comes up, which is quite good. And you can do that outside as well. Timing of planting, ideally about September is perfect. We're now in the middle of September, so for planting narcissus and alliums is perfect. Some people leave the tulips a little bit later into October because of tulip fire disease that can harm tulips. But really we want to be aiming to get them all in by the end of October if we can, to get them a period of cold, what we call vernalization, so the chilling helps develop the flower in the bulb and the roots go down deep, so you get a better, longer lasting flower. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to plant up the last of these, and we've just about finished here. Okay. Spadeful method. So with the spadeful method, it is exactly as it says. You go around. I like to go around the outside first. You could just dig out one spade, but I want to spread them a little bit. So what I'm doing is going around here. Okay, get a decent area. And because the bulbs are quite small, I'm going to just put that to one side. Okay, so we're taking out the spadeful. Obviously, if it was a bigger bulb, you'd go deeper. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll get my bulbs I get a handful of bulbs, same thing, just gently throw them across the top there. This time I'm just going to place them. You could point them up the right way around if you want to. I mean, bulbs are very good, they will find their way round. They'll turn round nicely, and just pop that back. Okay, and then what we do, pop the bark on top, and then we've got a nice depth, 2 to 3 times the depth of the bulb there. So I've got an area there, an area there. I will do just an area out over to the right a little bit. Again, use the spadeful method on that. Will be drier here, so we'll have a bit more. Pull the bark off. Just go round there. So lots of China doxus. This is the blue one, lovely blue one, member of the Naturalistic family. Has that nice sort of flower, a bit like a buttercup. There we go. Now we can just bring that back in, bring that in, cover up. Just one there, pop them in. Do that, and then obviously we just firm that in a little bit. Just bring the bark back over. There we go. Okay, sometimes the soil can be really hard to get your bulbs in, especially if you had a dry summer. So another little technique you can do is to use one of these chevolas, which we normally use, to be honest, for putting fence posts in, but it can be quite handy if you've got particularly big bulbs and putting them in. It's just another technique. So what you do is you obviously just bang it in, pull it together, put it to one side, and you keep going until you're at least twice the depth of the bulb. I'm going 2 to 3. I think it's a pretty good depth. And what you can do is just pop the bulb in and then grab a load of that and put it back in. And it's not the best way, but it is another way if the ground is rock hard. So the typical method of planting, of course, is with a trowel. So again, scrape the bark to one side. This is again quite a sunny terrace here. So we're planting alliums to Allium afflatuense. There's loads of good alliums. There's Schubertii, there's Christophii, Giganteum, and so essentially in this soil it's quite a clay soil. So I'm actually marking out a kind of a cube, if you like, and pulling the soil back. And I'm looking to get down 2 to 3 times the depth of the bulb. I'm going to plant it so the basal plate is right in the bottom there. Put the soil back on, and then a little bit of bark, and that's the sort of fairly traditional way of planting a bulb. Quite a nice pointy trowel is quite useful when the ground's a bit hard as well. So in this area it's really hard, and too hard really to use the spade. So what I'm going to use the mattock, and I did this on the front with like to create a stream by notching out, put a few bulbs, miss a bit, notch out, plant a few bulbs, so that the soil won't get washed away with the rain. So what I'm doing here is just literally going to make a trench with a mattock and backfill, because it is just, as you can see, very hard, the soil. So by creating a trench, trying to make them a little bit random, so maybe one there, nice sort of sausage shape, kind of works quite well. If you can do that, so some little bits there, 1 or 2 other bulbs, so you've got to be a bit careful to put them back in. I'll just put them there, and they'll be quite nice on the edge of this lawn. Of course, crocus can work in the lawn. These are crocus that I'm going to put in, but obviously you just got to wait, 6 weeks or so afterwards before you can mow to let the food go back into the bulb. There we go. So I'm just creating some sort of areas just where we'll just then put some handfuls of bulbs in, fairly random, and then I'll cover up. Okay, just a few kind of areas like that. Just get some bulbs, and we'll just sort of from height this time, just sort of let them drop in there. And you can, if you want to, just gently scatter them in, and then oop, that one's a little bit too wet. So we'll just put a few in each one, and then that will just brighten up the front of this border a bit. And just put a couple more on that one. There we go. That's it. They can be covered up. I've got at least twice the depth of the bulb there, so that's good. Break that down a little bit as well, nice and firm, and then maybe a mulch or something afterwards, just to break that up a bit, and then that will look good in the spring. So we've just got our 1,000 bulbs in, just a few more to do, and there we go. Hope you have a good time planting bulbs at home. See you next time.